Today we are hiking Wildcat A, aka Wildcat Mountain, in the Wildcat Ridge of New Hampshire. Elevation is 4,422 feet, I believe. We'll be taking the 19-mile Brook Trail over to the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Then we will be taking that to the summit of Wildcat. I think the first 3.6 miles is relatively easy to moderate. Then the final 7.7 is moderate to steep. So, should be in for a good day. So far the trail's starting out pretty easy, although that'll change once you get to the upper part of the 19-mile Brook Trail, then the Wildcat Ridge Trail, but shouldn't be too bad. Man, this 19-mile brook really is a nice place. Still, won't have to worry about water here if we ever run out. That's for sure. Alright, we just crossed a tributary of 19-mile Brook on a footbridge that is new to me. Oh well, this isn't wilderness, so it's not a wilderness rather, so this bridge can be here. And we should be getting fairly close to the junction with the Carter Dome Trail. We got an old dam right here, and a little bit of like a pool of water. Pretty neat thing that I didn't notice my first time coming up here. We are starting to veer away from the brook. Should be getting close to that junction with the Carter Dome Trail. Then from there, 1.7 miles to the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Then from there, another 0.7 to the summit of Wildcat A. Alright, we've reached the junction with the Carter Dome Trail. I took that route to Carter Dome in August of 2013. We're not going that way this time. We're going to take the 19-mile Brook Trail, 1.7 miles to the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Should be easy to moderate for that duration. Then the Wildcat Ridge Trail from there to the summit, Wildcat A, should be moderate to steep. But let's just see. We'll just have to see how steep it really is once you get there. Got a nice straight clear section up here. You can see directly where we're going. On we go. Loving those bridges. This seems to be a recurring thing that happens on just about every 4K hike I go on. Wet trails and standing and running water on the trails. It just seems that I can't escape it. Oh well, this is nothing like when I hiked the Bonds last week. How wet the trail was there. The trail has resumed its easy grade. And there's still some standing, running water on the trail in spots. And it's still quite wet overall. Although we're on a surprisingly dry stretch. Onward to the Wildcat Ridge Trail we go. Got a little somewhat steep pitch right here. Shouldn't be a problem though. And I think We should be getting close to the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Onward we go. Alright, now the trail's starting to make the climb in the Carter Notch. I can feel it. Well, good news is, should be getting close to the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Can't have that much farther to go, I would assume. Well, we've made it to the junction with the Wildcat Ridge Trail. Wildcat Mountain A peak is 0.7 miles that way. White Mountain Guide describes as being rather steep and rough, but a lot of people I talked to online said that it's actually relatively moderate with only a brief climb at the end. Hopefully that holds true. We'll have to see once we get farther down the trail. Alright, now we are beginning the climb up the Wildcat Ridge Trail to the summit of Wildcat A. So far not too bad, although it is rather rocky. But we'll just have to see what the rest of the trek brings us. Continuing on the Wildcat Ridge Trail. So far, it's actually somewhat steep. There's a kind of moderates right here, and I wonder when we'll get to that slide track. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. I think we've arrived at the old slide track. Starts up there. The Wildcat Ridge Trail goes that way. But wow, look at this view. Sorry, bug. Yeah. Certainly worth the effort, that's for sure. Carter Dome somewhere up there. And gonna take a quick water break, and I'll meet you farther up the Wildcat Ridge Trail. So far the Wildcat Ridge Trail is pretty moderate at times and extremely steep at others. Just glad it's a mix of the two and not extremely steep the whole way up. Well, we are standing on the actual summit of Wildcat A. As you can see the cairns right there. This appears to be the rock that's just off the spur path. So it's very treed in. Very wooded, very viewless, but there's a good viewpoint just below us, which I'll show you here. Holy cow, look at this view. It's beautiful. Got the Carter Notch hut and the lakes and Carter Notch down there. Carter Dome and its cliffs with the Carter Mariah Range continuing. Over there is the town of Gorham. And out there is the Wild River Valley. Man, this is incredible. Steep climb is definitely worth it. So far so good. I think we're going to take a breather here, and then I will meet you back at the Carter Notch hut. Well, we made it back to the trailhead. The beginning and ends of this hike were pretty easy, although the final section to Wildcat was rather steep, but also moderate in some parts. So, round trip distance was, I think, around 9.5 miles with about 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So, on the 19-mile Brook trailhead and Wildcat A, see you on my next adventure.